Welcome to Solo Travel Adventures, my sisters. Don't let fear hold you back from traveling alone. I want you to gather your courage, listen to inspiring stories, and learn how to travel solo while safely navigating new places from this show. I'm Cheryl Esch, solo travel advocate and travel coach, and I want you to have a transformative experience when you travel solo. So pack your bags, book your flight, and check one more time for that passport. It's time to explore the world. Hello, sister travelers. Well, being involved in the travel industry, I get a lot of news that come across through email, whether it's something I subscribe to or I follow different travel news media outlets. I came across a few travel news topics that might be of interest to you. And since maybe you don't follow those kind of newsletters or networks, I thought I would share the top 4 that just came across this last week or so that are some changes that might affect your future travel. And I wanted to share them with you. So the first one you might have already heard about, but the EU is imposing a tourist fee. And originally it was supposed to start in May of 2023, but it keeps getting delayed and pushed back again and again. And once again, it was supposed to go into effect this year as well, but it has been delayed till the second half or the first half of 2025. Just listen for that possibility if you're traveling to the EU. It's not a huge deal. It's $7 for those that don't need a visa to enter. Now, countries that still require a visa to enter any of the EU countries, you still need to get a visa. Okay, so and that will last. The tourist fee that they're charging will last 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. So something, if you're planning to go to Europe next year, just count on that little extra fee to be added, and it will be an online sort of application that they'll have you do. Number 2, something that I was finding kind of interesting is that Italy is celebrating its Year of Jubilee in 2025. Now, I want you to be aware of this because if you're planning to go to Italy next year, you need to be booking out really early because there's going to be crowds, it's going to be busy. And what this is, Year of Jubilee, is a holy year in Rome and the Vatican City, particularly. There's going to be higher cost of accommodations, flights, maybe even less available accommodations. So that's why you want to book pretty far in advance if you're planning a trip to Italy in 2025. Number 3, it will be more expensive to travel to this beautiful country. Starting October 1st of this year, New Zealand will be nearly tripling its tourist tax. They already have one, and it's going from $22 to $62. The tax is to support efforts of conservation, infrastructure, and environmental protection. Please also note, if you need a visa to get into New Zealand, the visa costs have also increased as well. So something to plan when you're planning your budget for your trip. And then finally, number 4, this one made me really sad to hear. And there's a lot of mixed emotions. And for those that are travelers and you like to collect stamps on your passports, well, there will be no more passport stamps in Europe. So they are imposing a new entry and exit system, which is all digital. So you will no longer get a stamp on your passport. It's called EES. They intend to implement it in November 10th of 2024. Now, I am hesitant since this tourist fee also has taken Europe a while to implement that that date might likely get pushed later because there's an app that they're wanting you to, of course, download and start that whole process of entering and exiting through that digital system. But the app has not been released yet. So I'm kind of thinking it might not happen on November 10th of 2024. But again, if you're planning any travel after that point, it may be something worth researching. Now, what do they do? Well, they're going to be doing a facial recognition scan of your face, digital fingerprints, and these scans will actually be mandatory. So right now, for example, in the U.S., a lot of the bigger airports, they have started implementing through TSA the facial recognition. Now, at this point, at least in the U.S., you can decline having your face scanned and just have them use your document, whether it's your driver's license or your passport, to confirm your identity. But it sounds like in Europe, because they're getting rid of the passport stamping, that they are saying this is mandatory. So just be prepared for that. Keep your pulse on this possibility happening after November 10th. Now, there's lots to keep up when it comes to the travel industry and different rules and things that apply for all of us that travel. So I'm hoping these 4 points kind of help prepare you for any future travel you might have in those areas. Keep safe, but get out there and have an adventure. Speaking of adventure, I'd like you to follow me as I go walk the Camino. By the time you listen to this episode, I am on my way there. So if you want to see live and what is happening on my trip, please follow me at Solo Travel Adventures 50 on Instagram, and that's where I'm going to be posting pictures, stories, reels, all that stuff, so that you can come along with me on the Camino. Hey, sister travelers, did this podcast inspire and encourage you, or move you to get out there and travel? Wonderful. There are 3 ways you can thank me. First one is leave a written review for the show on Apple Podcast. 2, share the show with your sister travelers, your friends, your family. And 3, subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. And thank you again for listening to the show. Sisters, be fearless, take the leap, and get out there and have an adventure.